Guys, welcome back to another mapping video. In this today, we are doing what if China formed an empire. So China has multiple neighbors such as Russia, Mongolia, India, etc. So it would be pretty interesting if they formed an empire. So their first task as an empire is to invade Mongolia. But why Mongolia? Well, they have no reason to invade Mongolia. All they're doing is just for the land and for the video. So they start their invasion. So firstly, we have Chinese troops crossing through the border, aligning all their troops on the. I'm repeating myself. They start to invade more until basically the population's no more, and they decide to surrender. And they do that. So let's take a look at this peace treaty, shall we? No one was expecting this peace treaty. Mongolia gets fully annexed by China, and now the next task as an empire is to invade Taiwan. Which they invade Taiwan. Of course they would. They are planning to do it probably soon. They might not be able to complete it that easily, but for the sake of the video, no countries get involved. So like that, you see Chinese troops landing and cutting the island into half, capitulating the south. Another landing here. Then they capture Taipei, and then Taiwan is just capitulated. This peace treaty, we can see communist China become the pure China without the ROK. The next event to happen is not actually related to what China does. Instead, South Korea starts it. No, against the North. So troops cross into North Korea. China does not actually want to help the North. Instead, they swoop in to take the rest of the nation before the South does. And then they just push South all the way back, and then they fully capitulated it. Let's take a look at this treaty. Yeah, I should stop repeating it, but who cares? So, now China owns this entire Korean peninsula and probably controls this entire body of water now. Now India goes on action since they don't like what China is doing. They decide to do an operation on Myanmar. So firstly, what we can see is India doing a push into Burma, hoping they can take as much land as possible. But then China does not allow that and sends troops that so India doesn't occupy the rest. It comes to a deal that it's split east and west, and now there's gonna be a new treaty. In the treaty, they divide Myanmar into two, one which is Indian and one which is Chinese. But really, the Indian one is just part of India, and then the rest that was Chinese is puppeted with a Chinese government. Easy as that. Don't know what's going on in this area. Surely it's fine. And I hope Myanmar is doing fine. And now, seems like China might be preparing for a full-scale war against the two Asian giants. So now we see China invade both Nepal and Bhutan. So China starts the invasion. It goes pretty well. Bhutan surrenders, but then when Nepal's about to die, India's like, you know what? I had enough of you. I'm going to attack you. And then China's like, well, we'll see about that. And then they call Pakistan into the war. And now this is going to be the toughest battle in the video. So what we see going on over here is India liberating the old nations, but they can't go anywhere past that except through there. They do a small counter-offensive, but it doesn't go well. But in this area, Pakistan tries to overwhelm Indian forces going into Kashmir, central areas, and here. But soon enough, Indian troops are sent over here and now entered into Pakistan. With the help of Myanmar, China can now do a counteroffensive, and then they can use Myanmar to do a naval landing over here. India wasn't seeing this coming. They pull out some troops to protect those areas. But then that just makes China go swoop, and then this entire area falls under Chinese hand. That means that. So India's still focusing on the other area, but and wipes it out. And now Pakistan decides, fully mobilizes and pushes back the Indians and decide to connect the fronts. Over in the Himalayas, we have China's starting its push into Nepal and Bhutan again, and this time it's quicker as India is now overwhelmed, and yeah. Troops connect, capturing lot of lot of land, and the Battle of New Delhi happens. It's a close battle, but the red team manages to capitulate the city. After a bit more troops coming in, we have the official surrender of the Republic of India, ending the war. Now let's take a look at the peace. In this peace treaty, we see basically all the border disputes settled. China gets what they want. Pakistan gets what they want. India lost what they want. China annexed Bhutan, some of Nepal, some of this bit of India. The rest of Nepal was given to India, as well as the remainder as well as the other half of Myanmar. Now it's reunited. And that's all for China's empire. I should have said this at the start of the video, but if you got offended, this was a joke. And it's just the scenario. Now, never mind. Actually, there's one last thing China wants to do. And that is to invade Tajikistan. Bad timing, I know that this is pretty awkward. First off, we have Chinese troops crossing into Tajikistan until their greatest ally was like, hey, why are you doing this without me? Not greatest, but Kyrgyzstan's a very good ally. So Kyrgyzstan joins the war with China. They both enjoy destroying Tajikistan, and it's at the point where they fully capitulate Tajikistan. And now they're gonna partition it. This China gets the eastern part, and then Kyrgyzstan gets the western part. And that's all for China's empire. That's what it was supposed to be. Oh, and that is not the right color. So this is China's empire. They expanded into the east, the west, and south, and north, and puppeted Myanmar. And that's all they do. I could have gave them more land in India, but I didn't want to, and I'm sorry if you got offended. This was a made-up scenario. I wanted to do it. And now this is the end for the video.